All right, a little something else went down the league Monday. Jerry Jones finally doing what everyone was expecting, telling Mike McCarthy that he would no longer be the Cowboys head coach, ending McCarthy's 5-year run in Dallas, which included 3 playoff appearances. And guess who Jerry has already talked to? Yep, Deion. The two spoke Monday. There's no formal interview set up just yet, but they do plan to talk again. Now, Deion spoke to Adam Schefter Monday night. Quote, "To hear from Jerry Jones is truly delightful and it's intriguing. I love Jerry and believe in Jerry. After you hang up and process it and think about it, it's intriguing. But I love Boulder and everything there is about our team, the coaches, our student body, and the community." Okay, RC, when you hear the potential of Deion Sanders going to Dallas to be their new head coach, what comes to your mind?
Why not? This is something I actually talked about early in the offseason last year. I thought it would be the perfect marriage. We all understand that someone has to be able to deal with Jerry Jones, not just the owner, not just the GM, but the man who wants to run everything about the Dallas Cowboys organization. Deion Sanders can do that. Someone needs to have the cachet and the understanding of what it's like to be within that building and be a player. Know the circus that is going to surround you week after week, day after day. Deion Sanders can do that. And he's also shown you that he could be a leader of men that could walk into the Dallas Cowboy locker room on day one and command and demand the respect of all the players there because he's been in their shoes, he's excelled in their shoes, and moved on and shown he can build an organization the way he did at Jackson State and in Boulder, Colorado.
And he's been successful at every level of football in which he's served as a head coach. RC, coming back a little bit later, we got the Fit Check Awards coming up.
With Mike McCarthy.
That's
Joe, who's the...
That's some bullshit, bro. You know that.
Dez Bryant sounds off against the Cowboys coaching drama. This is what Dez tweeted. Dan Quinn turned a once struggling franchise into a playoff contender and won his first playoff game. Until Dallas focuses on winning instead of politics, Cowboys fans should not expect success soon. I'm telling you this straightforwardly, just as I always do. Ocho?
Yeah.
Who's going to be the Cowboys' next coaching victim?
I don't know. I don't know who the victim is going to be. I'm not sure, but I just don't like the way Jerry operates. I don't like the way he operates. There was an opportunity for Mike McCarthy to be able to interview for the Chicago Bear job. You know, Jerry blocked that. He said no. I'm thinking, well, if you're telling me no, Mike McCarthy should be upset. If you're telling me no, I can't go interview for the job, I'm thinking you're going to retain me and discuss a long-term contract at some point. What was the point of even doing that? Just to show that you're in control? Just to show your power?
That's what it was. You knew he would. Ocho, he knew he wasn't bringing Mike McCarthy back. But no, I'm not going to let you interview with the Bears on your timeline. It's going to be on my timeline.
What's the point? What's the
control?
Point? We know you're in control. We know you're the owner. We know that. The season 8 isn't even in, and you're still making headlines based on your decision making. That's making absolutely no sense. Let the man go. You know you didn't want him to begin with, because if you wanted him, you would have paid him before the season even started, or paid him in season instead of allowing him to finish out his contract. Like, what are we doing?
But here's the thing. Remember when they lost a couple of times in the first round, they thought they kept Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn really stayed because he thought he was going to get the job. Right. Then after the side, Jerry kept bull jiving and said, man, let me go on out here and get me a job. You bull jiving. Mm-hmm. And guess what? Bobby Wagner was available.
Yeah.
He ain't had no linebacker like Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
B. Wagner, look at them. Know that defense. Know Dan Quinn's defense. Now, Kendricks played well, but B. Wagner's a different animal.
Yeah.
But see, Jerry is going to be Jerry. He going to hire a coach, and then he going to tell you who to hire. Well, this is going to be your defensive coordinator. This is going to be your offensive coordinator. Go ahead.
I have a question. Now, I've seen reports. I tweeted out earlier today. You know, I was just thinking, I just threw it out there. Like, you know, I ain't talked to Prime. You know, I'm just thinking, well, let me see. Mike McCarthy's gone. And I'm thinking about Prime, you know, obviously, you know, I'm not trying to stir no trouble. And then as soon as I tweeted it 3 hours later, they go to reports. Jerry Jones reached out to Deion Sanders about the opportunity. Deion saying he was intrigued, you know, but he loves what he has in Boulder as far as his team and his roster. And I just listen, when an opportunity like that comes along, do you let it pass you by? Do you let it pass you by? I know Deion said, I would love to coach my sons. I doubt, probably, I'm not sure what Dallas is picking, but Shedeur Sanders not going to be there. He's not going to be there unless they do something extravagant and climb the ladder and go get a quarterback. I doubt it. You know, they have.
They're not getting no quarterback. You just paid Dak $60 million.
I'm just saying this. I'm just talking. I'm just speaking hypotheticals. But I'm just saying for the opportunity to actually coach at the highest level, where you dominated, where you made your Hall of Fame career. I mean, do you really pass something up like that? What do you think?
But look, no, Ocho, look, we know Jerry. Jerry is an authoritarian.
Right.
It's Jerry way or no way. I heard Troy tonight said he don't believe the Cowboys job is as coveted. It's high profile, but it's not coveted. No. He says because coaches can't become who they are and what they can become because of Jerry. He says Dan Campbell is not going to be Dan Campbell in Dallas like he is in Detroit. Andy Reid would not be Andy Reid in Dallas like he is in Kansas City. That should tell. Think about it, Jerry. You continue to do things your way because you want the credit. Sometimes you don't realize how great things can be if you don't care who gets the credit. But Jerry cares, and therein lies his problem. He's always cared. That's why he fired Jimmy. He won't ever admit it. It drove him crazy that everybody mentioned Jimmy, and he got no shine. So he fired a man. Let that sink in. Chad, let that sink in for a second because I don't think you guys realize what I'm about to say here. He fired Jimmy after back-to-back Super Bowls, and his oldest superstar was Michael Irvin at 28 years of age. His oldest superstar was 28 years of age, and he fired him. Now, first ballot Hall of Famer in Troy Aikman, first ballot Hall of Fame, all-time leading rusher in Emmitt Smith. Michael Wett got in on the second ballot. And they had that team together. They won another one. They missed that year. They went and got Prime, and they won another one. But had they had Jimmy, that's when Jerry started. They won in spite of Jerry. Right. That's how good that 95 team was. They won in spite of Jerry.
Right.
But had they kept Jimmy, what you see the Patriots did, that's what Jimmy would have done.
You think they could have ran it like that?
Think about what they had. Emmitt Smith, Emmitt came in with me. So Emmitt left early. So 93, Emmitt should have been 24.
Right.
Troy was 26. Mike was 20. Troy was 27. Mike was 28.
Listen, remember what CD said in Color Purple? Huh?
What that?
Somebody need to do that to Jerry. Until you right by me, everything you, well, I forgot.
Go come back on you.
Yeah, and that's what's happening. Nothing is going good for the Cowboys since that firing. Now you made it to the playoffs. You made it, but you always going home in the first round. And still Jerry continues to do the same exact thing, the same shenanigans. The season they're not even in. He's still making headlines for the wrong reasons.
Yep. And the thing is that's how he said Troy, I mean, he was talking like Barry wanted to be everybody's friend. Jimmy ain't want to be nobody's friend. Yeah. Jimmy ran that thing with an iron fist.
Yeah.
The same way Coach Belichick. Any team that wins and win consistently, their head coach run that thing.
Right. Dang.
Fired him after back-to-back Super Bowls, and they hadn't won a Super Bowl in 20 plus years. And he wins back-to-back, and Jerry fired him because Jerry wasn't getting shine. Nobody mentioned Jerry. I'm in the league, so I know. Right. Everybody talked about what Jimmy had done, what Jimmy had built, because Jimmy knew the players. Jimmy was at the University of Miami. He recruited those guys.
Yeah.
He recruited the guys that was coming into the NFL. He tried to get them at the UM.
Right.
So he knew how to do it. Jimmy made that trade to get Herschel up out of there. Herschel was the one valuable piece they had. Jimmy said, hey, Yeah, we can keep him and go 5-11. What did that get us? And Jerry fired him. But hey, he's the first one. This is what Merov. The Cowboys' handling of negotiations and money is downright baffling. They basically sat out free agency last year, dragged their feet on players' extensions, and created unnecessary drama with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott by waiting until the 11th hour to get deals done. And it's just not them. It has a pattern of with several players over the years. They made Mike McCarthy and his entire staff coach out their contracts, blocked McCarthy from interviewing with the Bears last week, only to part ways anyway. In Week 18, they even benched Cooper Rush to avoid paying him a $250,000 incentive for playing 55% of the snaps on this year. He was at 52%. Completely avoidable chaos and not what you would expect from America's team. Ain't no way. You keep doing things, you ain't gonna have no good luck.
Listen, making headlines for the wrong reason, and you wonder why things never go well. Damn.
Marcus Spears, Swaggoose throw his hat in the coach and say, hey, we win, I promise. Man, Swaggoose, Jerry ain't gonna let you do nothing. I mean, Ocho, I'm not trying to hear the owner speak to me before the game or after the game because you're not there. See, Jerry's all about show. Because what does Jerry do, Ocho? This is how you know Jerry's about show. During practice, he landed his helicopter on the field.
That's crazy.
It's all about show with Jerry. Jerry don't care nothing about no winning. Jerry got the fans, but the fans are starting to see now. Man, Jerry don't really care nothing about no winning.
I don't think the fans understand it, huh?
They do. They're starting to see it now.
I mean, listen, it's been 20, 25, 26, 27 years. How you just now see
almost 30.
And listen, and Jerry's not going to change until it hits one place in your pockets. But until you stop showing up, until you stop coming to the games, until you stop buying merch, nothing is going to change. And you know when football season come around, Jerry's World, that stadium is going to be filled up. When they go to LA for training camp, it's going to be filled up. They're coming. They're going to keep coming regardless because they love the game of football, and Jerry knows that.
It's like, hey, here's what he is, Ocho. Once you get to that age, Jerry's in his 80s, he ain't changing.
Yeah.
Ain't no sense in, hey, this is what Troy Aikman had to say. He said, I thought Mike McCarthy would be the head coach. So it's a bit surprise for me today that he's not going to be. What went into those conversations, I'm not exactly sure. It suggests there's not a real plan. As far as the coveted job, I don't know if that's accurate. I do think the Cowboys are obviously a high-profile team, and whoever is the head coach of that team is certainly going to draw a lot of attention. But I think most football people that take over as a head coach want to do it on their terms, and that's hard to do in Dallas. What everybody has said, you take Dan Campbell, for instance. Is Dan Campbell, if he's with the Dallas Cowboys, it's hard to imagine that he is. It's hard to imagine that a lot of these coaches might be. I love the Dallas Cowboys. I played there for 12 years. I wish them well. But to say it's a coveted job, I'm not sure I would necessarily agree with that.
Sometimes you get in your own way, huh?
Coach Prime told ESPN tonight, to hear from Jerry is truly delightful, and it's intriguing. I love Jerry. I believe in Jerry. After you hang up and process it, you think about it, it's intriguing. But I love Boulder, everything about our team, the coaches, our student body, and the community.
I like it.
It's just hard for me to see a scenario where you can be successful as long as Jerry's meddling. It's just hard for me to see it, Ocho. I just believe the owner should be hands off. If you hire somebody, I can't hire somebody to do a job and then I'm over telling them how to do the job. Well, if that was the case, I could save me some money. Why don't you just coach the team? If you know so much about football, just coach the team. That's what Papa Bear Hallis did.
Right.
He owned the team and coached it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
If he believes he knows as much as he says he does, or he tries to convince the people that he knows, coach it.
Could you imagine Jerry as the head coach on the sideline in the suit?
No. They don't let you do that. You got to wear NFL gear now. Dan Reeves, the old guard used to do that. Coach Reeves, Mike Ditka, they used to be on.
Well, y'all, it's official. Mike McCarthy's time with the Dallas Cowboys has come to an end. After 3 bumpy seasons capped with just 1 playoff win, the Lone Star team has decided it's time to part ways with their head coach. Folks, this ain't just a change. It's a full-blown shakeup. McCarthy, who had a 49-35 record across his tenure, never quite delivered on the big promises. Sure, we had some decent moments, but playoff success? That was as scarce as snow in Dallas. Now, let's talk about that 7-10 season, the one that sealed McCarthy's fate, losing twice to the 49ers in recent years, and then the Packers last season didn't exactly sit well with the fans or Jerry Jones. When McCarthy was hired, hopes were sky high that he'd recreate his Super Bowl magic from his Packers days, but here we are, still waiting for that 5th championship. So, what's next for the Cowboys? Jerry's got a tall order on his hands. This team is inching closer to the 20-year mark without sniffing the Super Bowl, and the pressure's hotter than a Texas summer. Rumor has it Deion Sanders might be on Jerry's radar. Can you imagine the buzz that'd create? Meanwhile, McCarthy ain't likely to stay jobless for long. Word around the NFL campfire is he could land with the Bears or Saints. But here's the real kicker. With all this change brewing, it feels like a make-or-break moment for the Cowboys. Jerry's next move will either set the team on the path to glory or dig them deeper into mediocrity. And for fans like us, there's nothing more exciting or nerve-wracking than waiting to see what's coming next. So, Cowboys Nation, what do y'all think? Is Deion the spark this team needs, or should Jerry go a different route? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments.